Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, where the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi everyone, my name is Tracey, and if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So, less than 2 weeks ago, a brother by the name of Marcellus Williams was executed in the state of Missouri, right? And it got me thinking because it weighed heavy on my heart because, I didn't even know that of his story, like, until the day of his execution. And within learning about it, it was also the fact that even though he was prosecuted, they later came back and was, unsure. But instead of reopening the case or granting the state of execution, the governor denied it and he was executed by lethal injection, right? And the thing about it is, we understand systemic oppression and things of that nature, right? But it kind of brought me to a place of being our brother's keeper, like how it used to be when we have more unity within our communities, within our families. And it just got me thinking because I dive deeper into what is plaguing us as a whole, right? And going back to Marcellus, he did a brave thing within his injustice, right? And I think that because he chose in his final words and his final impact on the world, his final impression, right? His last words was, all praises due to Allah. In his final moment, he chose to express gratitude and appreciation to our Creator, right? And it just got me thinking about, what is plaguing our community, what is causing the division, what's plaguing our unity, and our overall brotherhood. You know what I mean? And and it just got me thinking, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes certain things just resonate with you and it causes you to do a deeper dive of it, right? And so within that, it was getting back to focusing on our communities, right? The betterment of our people. And communities serve such a huge impact, be it good or be it bad, on our people, right? And we got to get it back to the original definition, the original operation of community, right? Because that's where we collectively come together and everybody put their, their information and their experiences and their knowledge into this pot that helps us and essentially helps humanity, right? Because when we're all operating within our best selves, um that's how we flourish, right? The unity is how we flourish, right? And so, again, it just brought me to a place of community, right? It's our strength, it's where our empowerment comes from. You know what I'm saying? So, we know that, people of color have faced like systemic oppression, right? And the understanding of that is that it's discrimination within laws and policies and social standards, and you know what I'm saying, like it's put in place to have us operating in our lowest selves, right? We talk about the mass incarceration, you know what I'm saying, we talk about the false narratives, you know what I'm saying, and those things are playing a big role in our community, right? So thinking about us and how awesome we are, we got to get our communities back, right? We got to get our communities back. We got to get back to our original selves, our spiritual selves. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back in alignment with God. And so within that, of course, it comes with healing. Like we got to heal not only ourselves, but we got to heal each other. We got to go back to being like our brother's keeper. You know what I mean? And we are all facing our own internal battles, but we need each other's help to help us get through. Just because you got through and somebody else didn't, the fight isn't over. You're only as good as your slowest person, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't be like, well, I got myself out of it and you know, you can too, and then that's it. Like we gotta dive a little bit deeper when it comes to being, our brother's keeper, right? Because we're all facing what we're facing, and we're doing the best that we can, but we need help from us, right? And so when we look at like the economic inequalities and things of that nature, when it comes back to like communities, it's like it's the information that's out there that whomever within the community gets that and brings it back, right? It's so many economic channels now. Like it's people who have changed the way that they operate in the world. They have gotten, financial literacy, and they're bringing it back to the communities and stuff, right? And so we have to be diligent in getting that information, because like you said, when you tap into somebody else's platform that can get into these rooms that you typically can't, but they bring that information back to you, I mean, that's about as good as it's gonna get until you get into that level, right? But we gotta change what we are feeding ourselves, right? We gotta change what we are looking at, what we are listening to, because that influences us, right? If you on your phone and you scrolling and all you seeing is this negative thing, that negative thing, this negative thing, that negative thing, this low vibrational thing, this like you think that you're gonna be operating in your higher self? Like you're not. You gotta think about this being your vehicle, and all the stuff that you face and all the stuff that you participate in is like the oil going into your vehicle, right? You gonna put some old ugly dusty oil in your vehicle, or you trying to get some good quality premium clean stuff to put in your vehicle? Which one is gonna make your vehicle run, right? That's what it is. That's what the music and the TVs and the news and just all these different social media. You know what I'm saying? People having anxiety coming from that and depression coming from that. It's like, disconnect. Disconnect. Get you a book. Books are still out there, right? Right? Like even now they even got audiobooks. I find that I like audiobooks when I'm trying to listen, but I got things to do. But it ain't nothing better than an old-fashioned physical book and a highlighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I recognize that about myself. Like I'll get the audio and the book. Man, I have them read to me as I do my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Like it's so much information, good information out there now. So now you have to take the pledge of bettering yourself, to better the community, to better our race, to better humanity, right? It's a domino effect. Like everybody is part of it. Everybody has to be held accountable for the way we are living, right? And so, getting back to our businesses and things of that nature, it brought me to a place where it's like, this is why we really gotta like tap into like family businesses and real estate, and you know what I'm saying, just changing the status quo of just being consumers. You know what I'm saying? It's because I remember one time, like, I went into this hair store, right? And they had the little black music on. Not black music, I ain't even gonna say black music, but they had the hip hop music on. They had buku black people working in there. But it just so happened that one day the owner was in there, and he was like a Arabic man or whatever. And I noticed that he had so many cameras in the store. And it really like made me mad, because I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You want to come into these urban communities and sell all this stuff in the urban communities, but then you still operate under the understanding of, they're just thieves, they're gonna steal, they're gonna, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna do all this stuff. And it bothered me, because it was like, if this how you feel, then go somewhere else then. And I promise you, I never went back there, because I didn't like that. And then it brought me to like, we gotta learn how to get our own again. Like Black Wall Street was real, and we gotta get back to it. I'm not saying like, and I'm not looking at it like family businesses like, now I got 15,000 stores all around. Like, I'm not trying to be mainstream like that. It's just mainly like having good places in our communities, and especially the ones that are being plagued with, people and culture and influences and things that has brought the community down. Like, we got to bring our communities back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know we need to make money and da, da, da. Like, I get that, but it's not about making money. It's about elevating the people and giving them a good place, safe space to like go to, and not trying to like exploit them. And like, it just be touching me, because it's like, when you start to see it, and when you start to understand why these things are happening, it's like you got to fight back. It's like, no, I got to do something to help elevate my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it becomes part of the purpose work, right? So, reclaiming our rightful identity. Like, we are spiritual people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are God's people. And I understand that circumstances can get us out of our connection with the Creator, but we have to overcome that to get back in alignment with God, because that's why, that's why we're here. It's like a video game. You know what I'm saying? And you got to beat all the goons and the goombas and stuff to get to the next level, to save who? What? The princess, or the children. You know what I'm saying? Humanity. You know what I mean? And it's like, we all have work to do. We all have work to do. Like, the country is a mess. Like, I'm constantly hearing it, like, uh, you know I don't know. We don't know we don't know what the future holds. That's scary to me. That's scary to me, cuz it's like, when you like have to survive the world, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been accustomed to a certain standard of living. And I think it's important for us to pull back a little bit and get back to the land, you know what I'm saying? And the original way that it was. And I find it very funny, because it's like, when our parents was growing up and our grandparents and so forth was growing up, they did it this way. It wasn't all of this, you know what I'm saying? But then they made them feel like, oh, you just poor, this is the poor man way and all this kind of stuff. But then they're going back full circle, and now you doing the stuff that our ancestors used to do, but then you trying to act like this the new thing. Like, no, quit getting tricked out of the way we live, the way we operate. You know what I'm saying? And so we gotta learn how to grow some things. Like, even if you live in an apartment, like, it's so many videos out there where you can have you just a little terrace garden. You know what I'm saying? It may not be enough to feed the whole, but at least you learning, that's a skill set. Farming is a skill set. When the grocery stores close, that's a skill set, right? And so that's what it is for me. Just educating ourselves. Getting back to educating ourselves, and being more than just consumers to make other people wealthy while you trying to live like the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for me, it's like, I really want to learn how to sew and like make my own stuff. Like, I love like learning and then trying to do it myself, you know? And that's one of the things that I have a passion for. It's just like, not like trying to be a designer or nothing. I'm just trying to like make little skirts and stuff, and for me and my little family and things like that. So just what you into, you know how can you be of service? And it's not even about like service in the whole community. Sure, that's cool, but like, what can you do for your family? You're part of the community too. So start with your family. Start with your passions. So you can figure out what you was here for, because everybody's here with a mission to elevate God and help humanity, right? So yeah, I was just thinking about like communities and just how we got to get back to our original foundation, and that's just, again, getting back in alignment with God. And I'm gonna say this: when I say getting back in alignment with God, like, however you God is how you God, but for me it's like I'm not into mega churches and super pastors, and I'm just not into that, because I feel that scares me. When you got like contracts with the government, and when you got contracts with banks, and I feel like it brings you into a different world, a world that has rules, and you gotta abide by these rules to do that, and then it kind of pull you away from the original essence of spirituality, because I do think that there's a difference between spirituality and like religion, you know. So if you like church and stuff and that's where you get nourishment from, like, I'm not knocking it, because I don't know, we all just trying to figure it out, right? But that's just how I feel about it. It get a little weird, and then people get a little weird, and then money makes people a little weird, and then it's weird. So I don't know, that's just my little spiel on that. So just getting back to our natural spirituality, and the reason why we're here, you know because that's important to fulfilling our divine mission. Like, because if we don't let go of the world, the way the world operates, and if we don't tap back into our connection, our natural selves, and being in alignment with God, it's like we're missing it. Because we have to understand that even though you may be getting rewarded, like, it may not always be from God. So you gotta, like, make sure that you are going in the right path to receive the right rewards from the right source, right? And so I looked into, like, when it comes to, like, all the things, because this is what I want to say, right? So I know it's a lot of negative stereotypes when it comes to our culture, especially our men. And I just wanted to go on record saying that, look, you're more than what they say you are. Like, I understand that there is a whole systemic design to, like, knock you off your mark, right? And so when they say men are just violent and super predators and hypersexual and deadbeats, and, like, no. And it's hurtful, and it's impactful when you constantly hear that, about yourself. Just think about it. If you feel like you're you're doing good, but then all you hear is people just telling you how negative you are, like as much as you don't believe it, it kind of creeps in like a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that can grow into something big to where you don't even like believe in yourself no more. Like men are just lazy. They just have babies and they just, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. And I blame a lot of that on the lack of leadership. I blame that on um the traumas. Like, it's so many traumas that men have faced throughout their lives that it's hard for them to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like giving anybody an excuse, but I'm just here to say, like, sometimes we operate under our lowest selves or on our lowest selves, but it's not just because. You know what I'm saying? It's a battle. So when you look at that, the things that our men face, what we got? We got systemic oppression. We got economic inequalities. We got trauma. We got the destruction of the family unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a design. You know what I'm saying? We talk about mass incarceration and lack of education, and you know what I'm saying, like all these things, and then it's like you get out and it's so hard for you to like move past maybe the mistake that you made. You know what I'm saying? And then now nobody want to give you a job, or now nobody want to help you, or you know what I'm saying, and then they put you into like this spiraling cycle. You know what I mean? And then it's like, what else you got? You got the negative stereotypes that men is just da 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 da, and they just making you out to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, just really the lowest of the low. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like it causes internal like racism about yourself. Like, that's a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like then you just feel like you ain't nothing, and you just start believing in stuff. Or even the ones who finally, kind of make it out. Sometimes you can make money, but you ain't healed. And then you go over there and get with Rebecca and Karen them, and then you feel like you doing something because you over there with them. But then it's like, why you want to be over there with them? Like, think about why you want to be over there with them. You know what I'm saying? Because now you trying to prove something to somebody that you ain't this, that you are this like them, but you ain't never gonna be like them. You was never designed to be like them. We are different. You know what I'm saying? And then when they take you through the ringer, you see why, because we're not made the same. We all make up humanity, but in our races we are different. you know so I was just thinking about that, because there's a lot of things that plague our men and just have them living in a low vibrational state. And then the lack of positive role models, even like when they try to give us a male figure on TV, what they do, and then they prosecute Bill Cosby, and then you know what I'm saying, I think one of the other people, they was gay, and you know what I'm saying, just they just take it away from you. And it's like, well, one, that's TV, and two, you can be that. You can be that in the real world, in real life. And we got to get back to that. Our children need mentors. You need mentors. So I keep on saying, like, if you got people that are like-minded, you know what I'm saying, like, get together, talk, spread it, get some more people. You know what I'm saying? And then that will just continue to put the positive out there. And it's not about changing the minds of others, but it's about changing the dynamic of how we see ourselves and how we operate. Because we too have to be our best selves. You know, like I understand that there's traumas and things that we're facing, but we got to get away from devices, and we got to get away from the feeling bad for ourselves, and we got to get away. You know what I'm saying? You got to be better than that. We need you to be better than that. You need yourself to be better than that. God needs you to be better than that. Like, you are needed. You know what I'm saying? You dogging on another black woman and throwing her under the bus and tarnishing her name, and you know what I'm saying, just serving her up to the, you know, to the good old boys and stuff like no. No. We ain't doing no more Uncle Tommy. You know? But that comes with the spiritual disconnection. When we take ourselves out of being in alignment with God, like we allow other negative things to like start taking over and talking to us, and you know what I'm saying, having us operate in you know. And even if you like in a interracial relationship, like no one outside of your race should be calling you the N-word. Like, your lady shouldn't be calling you the N-word as a black man. Your lady shouldn't be telling you you ain't, and all you do is go to jail. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, and then it's like it goes deeper too, because like women are going through stuff. They be stereotyping women all the time. The angry black woman, you know what I'm saying? The superwoman black woman, and you know what I'm saying, who can't show no emotion. She just gotta like take it and move on. You know what I'm saying? Or she doesn't have the right to get upset because now she just a sassy. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff. Then you got colorism within that. You know what I'm saying? If you lighter, you better. If you darker, you worse. Like, who come up with that? The lighter versions are part of a terrible, terrible ancestry that our people have to go through. So don't get tricked into thinking just because you lighter, you better. No. And don't get tricked into thinking the darker you are, the worse you are. Like, no. Like, my sister's darker than I am, but my sister is beautiful. I have friends who are darker than me, and they are beautiful. And even within that, it's like, okay, so now it's like they done took it to a whole new level. So now they got the biracial black woman representing the black woman, who the activist power to your people. I'm like, so see, light skinned people ain't even it no more. You know, knocked us out too. So it's like you can't fall victim into an European description of beauty. Like, no. And if you are the original, you are the original beauty. We are beautiful at every shade. You know what I'm saying? And even when it's like it comes to hair, I find that it's like it's like it's something there, you know. And at first it was like, I had a conversation with my mama. It was like, because I was listening to these people and they were asking black women, like, you know, what's up with your hair? Like, why you feel like you gotta wear all these weaves and wigs and, you know what I'm saying, and putting perms in your hair and, you know what I'm saying, and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of the answers was like, because they're not socially accepted with their natural hair. And excuse me, it brought me to a place. It was like, okay, so when I was little, I got perms. But within that, it was like, I don't recall it being like, you need to get perms because your hair is bad. Like, I don't know why. Like, we never couldn't figure out why we got perms. It was just kind of like a social norm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what the people doing. But I'm glad that it wasn't like because I don't love my hair. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's people who just have fall victim into someone else's definition of beauty. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, your hair is beautiful. It's its own beautiful thing. Right? And you just have to learn to take care of and nurture this beautiful thing. 2024, if you are getting a perm, please stop. It is hurting you. It is killing you. Please stop. And love your hair, man. Love your hair. Love your being different. You got us and you got them. I want to be us. I like being an us. You know what I mean? Like, I like being an us. I'm proud of us. You know? And you know, women go through stuff too. They got systemic oppressions against women, especially the dehumanization. And it's like, man, when you go back, like, they had women in cages, stripped down, just so they can see, like, wow, why this, look at this thing, not her, look at this thing, grabbing on it, touching on it, getting aroused on it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these type of people, this what you want to, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. That's crazy. And then they try to make you feel like you ugly. They tear you down and then go and get your stuff. They talk about your lips and they go get their lips. They talk about your hips and your thighs and then they go get their hips and their thighs. They talk about your voluptuousness and then they go and get your voluptuousness. You see what I'm saying? Don't fall for that. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. And this is how God made us. In all shapes and sizes. I've never been voluptuous. Only after I'm pregnant, I may get a little oomph. But this is who I am. And I love who I am. You know what I'm saying? And we come in all shapes and sizes and colors and everything. You know? And we're just beautiful all around. So you got to tap back into your beautifulness and don't let people tell you your definition of beauty, especially when they ain't us. Right? And then when you come to the dehumanization, it's like, put some clothes on. Put some clothes on. Quit acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got to get to the bag, but it's multiple ways to get to the bag. And then it's going to be some fallen ones. Those are the fallen ones. God pray for them. Because they still are people. But we can't support that. Because that's a misrepresentation, and that's a problem with the stereotypes that is getting placed on us, and we ain't even doing it. The ones who fear God and the ones who respect God and the ones who want to work under that spirituality, it's like we can't be a part of that. You know, we got to get it another way. So when you go out there and you dressing like, and then they treating you like, that's why. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get respect that way, and I don't care. Like, that's not gonna. That's not. It's not gonna work. That doesn't help humanity. You know. And so, even with incarceration with black women now, you know, and the criminalization, they shooting, they killing us now. They, you know what I'm saying? More, not now, but more. Getting locked up more. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like whenever you have these representatives who want to be like mentors, like, you know, you got to hold yourself accountable because it's people who are learning from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be on there talking about how to be in your femininity, but within that femininity, all your breasts hanging out. You know what I'm saying? You wearing provocative stuff, or you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta like make femininity fly without being overly sexual. And you can want to look nice, but your essence doesn't come from your physical features like that. You know, because it's people that's listening and they learning, and you got to be like responsible with the information that you putting out and how you are holding yourself. So black men and black women, like, we are going through our own battles and then battles that just plagues us as a race, right? But we got to get through it. We got to get back to community, and we got to get back to healing. We got to get back in alignment with God, because the survival of our race depends on it. The survival of our culture, and you know, and our influences, like, it depends on that, you know. And so when we talk about these things, you know, I always want to bring it back to a place of, okay, so how do we beat this? How do we, you know what I'm saying? What's the solution? You know what I mean? And it comes with the understanding that black men and black women, we need each other, right? We need each other. Period. And so within needing each other, right? How do we better ourselves to collectively uplift our communities and our families, right? Like how do we do that? Like what does that look like? Well, I tell you one thing, we gotta we gotta heal our families. We gotta restore our family unit, right? We gotta get back to complimenting each other. We gotta get back in alignment with God, right? And understanding our respected roles, right? And operate within those roles wholeheartedly, 100%, all the way in. And so when you talk about the family unit, yes, the man is the provider, the man is the leader, you know. And when it comes to the woman, right? She is she's the teacher, right? Like she is the teacher of the children. She is the foundation of the family, the moral compass of the family's dynamic. Both equally important roles, but we got roles. We got things we got to do. We got to teach the children. You know, when he's out there and dealing with everything out there that comes with providing, your home should be your peace. I keep telling y'all, peace is non negotiable. And part of that peace within the family unit is the woman, right? So, knowing that we have divine roles to play to elevate our family, our community, humanity is very important, right? It's important. And within that, having mutual respect and support for each other. Stop tearing each other down. Stop talking about each other. Stop competing. What you competing for? Be supportive. Learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get more collaborative, not competitive. Collaborative, not competitive, right? And that goes to like having a commitment to it. Like, having a commitment to God first. You're going to have that commitment to your family structure, you know, and your community. Because it is about commitment. It's about collaborating. I need you, and you need me, and we need each other. You know? getting back to us, the very essence of us. And so, yeah, it's like the children too, because it's like you gotta have the man doing his man stuff. You gotta have the women doing the women stuff, because collectively that's what teaches our children to be righteous people, to be conscious people, to know who they are, to learn their purpose. You know what I'm saying? And how to operate in the world. So we don't continue a cycle of our people falling victim to exploitation. You know? And just trying to break something that's not theirs to break. You know what I'm saying? Like, we belong to God. That's like, even when I've dealt with situations in the past, but it's like nobody has ever broken me. I'm not yours to break. It's sad that you would try to, but I'm not yours to break. I belong to God. What part of that don't you get? You know what I'm saying? So again, getting back in alignment with your spiritual selves. Like, we're spiritual people. We are naturally spiritual people. We are birthed by the Creator. We have God essences within us. We are spiritual people. We are naturally spiritual people. That's why things hit us different. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it hit different when it come this way, because we are different. You know. So I heard a comment when it comes to like protecting, our people. Like, our men have to protect, women, children, elders, the community in general, right? And it was like, men have to be capable of violence. But it's like, men have to be capable of violence, but don't be abusers. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. And you got to be a provider and, I mean, a protector, and it's not just physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got spiritual battles we got to win. You know what I'm saying? We got internal battles that we got to win. Mental battles we got to win. Like, it's more than just physical, but physical is important, especially as a man. It's like nurturing and teaching is important when it comes to a woman. You know? And so within that, we'll get back to acting within our respective roles. You know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta find the motivation. You gotta find the elevation. You gotta get out of all this media that's representing you and me and us in the wrong light. And no, we ain't doing it to show them this is not who I am. Like, no, it ain't about them and that. But it is about seeing that we are better than we have been acting in. Like, we gotta do some shadow work. And we gotta like break out of this cycle. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with what we allow to influence us. What are we feeding ourselves? Because it's not just food, it's spiritual food, it's knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's all types of ways that we are feeding ourselves. And what we feed ourselves is what we become. You know, D1 talk about the platinum pledge. Go look it up. 19 Keys say he's a walking economy. Go look him up. Dr. Umar said it's a systematic oppression, and it's it's a false narrative. Go look him up. You know what I'm saying? Free Soul said he a god. Go look him up. Like they got people out there. Go look them up. They got books out there. Go look them up. You know, like go tap in. Go tap in. And I challenge you, and I challenge me, and I challenge us to change the way we see ourselves by changing what we put into ourselves. Okay? So, that's it. That's it. And I wrote something down and I said that in essence, the rise of our people as God's people, it hinges on maintaining a strong, unified, and spiritual alignment to community. And without it, the strength, wisdom, and divine calling of our people will diminish. It's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to us. Okay? So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my little spiel. And you got this. You got this. I got this. We got this. So, till the next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.